Bismillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. We'll continue with our review session. Last week, we wanted to do a little bit of homework. Not sure whether you guys managed to do the homework.
Not
Not all?
22 page 22 homework.
Yeah, 22 and 23. So this should be page 22 and 23, the one that we're looking at right now.
I finished 21, but
Page 21?
22 just vocalize I can book. But now writing is a bit slow.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, so where are we? Just trying to navigate to this thing. Make it a bit bigger. So that's number page 22, isn't it? Okay, this is page 22. Let's review what we learned last review session first before we start with the new lesson. Just to recap what we have learned. So that exercise, the homework that we assigned last session is to put the last harakah on the last letter. So on the last letter, put the harakah. Okay. So let's see whether we still recall what we reviewed last session. So the first one, al-ba, bun or
Al-Babu.
so not sure whether you remember in the video, not sure whether you look at the video, but basically when we add alif lam at the end, cannot be tanwin. So it cannot be al-babun. It must be al-babu. Alif lam. Yeah, the beginning has alif lam. It makes the word proper. So meaning that the translation of that would be the door. Al-babu. It's different from babun, which is just a door. Al-babu is the door. The proper means that we know which object or which person that we are talking about. So if let's say we say that door, we know everyone here will know that I'm pointing to that door. So in this case, kind of similar. Al-babu is the door. So everyone, the audience would know we are talking about something definite, something specific, not just a door, the door. So we get alif lam at the front.
Become babun.
Babun, yes, correct. Salam. So try the next one. Attajiru. Next one. An-najmu. Next one. Al-qama. Ru. Next one. Ku. Alma. U. Make sense, brother? Yeah.
Water.
Water, yes.
The water. This is the water.
Yeah, the water, yeah. We can say the water. Sorry.
Any such thing as just ma'un?
Water, yeah? Yeah. Ma'un, yeah. Ma'un.
Because I've been referring all this, trying to find, because everything here over here is al. I mean al.
Yeah, because in this lesson it talks a lot about the mubtada and khabar. That's why a lot of the mubtada is alif lam and ma in this case is always subject in this lesson.
Just water,
Ma'un. Yeah, yeah. So there's I think there's an ayah in Al-Baqarah. Minas sama ima. So minas sama. So from the sky, water. Minas sama ima. So that one is just ma. There's no alif lam. It's not minas sama ilma. Minas sama ima. For example. So we can use ma'un, but it depends on the sentence, obviously. Okay. Make sense, Brother Nordin, so far? Yeah. So try the next set, Brother Nordin, because you were not there in the last session. So sariru, al-bay, al-masjid, do.
The first one.
Oh, yep. Sariru. Sariru. Yep. Yeah. So the next one. Al-raju. Lu. Yeah, at the moment we haven't learned any other status other than marfu. So at the end, just use dhamma. for now.
Asa-
As-suk,
asa-
as-suk. That's actually soup.
Asukaru.
Yeah,
Sugar.
sugar. Yes.
Asukaru.
And then the next one,
Alwaroku.
al-wa waraku. There's no mud there.
Al-waraku.
Al-waraku. Yeah. Okay.
Alwaroku.
Mm. Now we move on to the section underneath.
Meaning?
You want to do the meaning? Yeah, let's do a little tip of vocab actually. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, who want to try? Well, this one is too easy. I'm going to skip this one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, who want to try? What is this? Like the merchant. The merchant. Yes. Good.
The what?
The merchant. Merchant or businessman. Like shopkeeper. People at the shop.
Merchant.
Merchant. Yeah. Yeah.
Business. Business. From business.
Orang business. Orang business. Yeah. An najmu. Want to try?
Star.
Star. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then translate the star.
Yes.
Make sure there's the at the front because it's alif lam.
Star.
Al-qamaru,
Akumaru. The moon.
the moon. Ad-diku, next, rooster.
Chicken.
Al-ma'u
Chicken.
is rooster. The more accurate is actually rooster. Yeah. Al-ma'u, what? Yeah. As-sariru, brother Nordin again. As-sariru. This one.
Asariru.
This one.
Asariru.
Not sure. Bed.
Malam penat.
Kasur.
Mana di mana? Kalau malam penat.
Bed.
Asariru.
Sariru.
Kasur.
Kasur. Bed dalam Indonesia kasur.
Indonesia kalau tilam.
Tilam.
Katil.
Katil. The next one, brother Tajul. Al-baitu,
Al-baitu. The house.
the house. This one I'm gonna skip. Too easy. Brother Rosman. This one.
The man.
Ar-rajulu, the man. Brother Arif,
The sugar.
the sugar. Last one. Anyone want to try?
Paper.
The pepper. Good.
Paper.
Paper.
Yeah.
Waraka. Warka. Warka.
Kertas.
Kertas.
Waraka.
Waraka. Warka. Oh, it's not the same. Is it in Indonesia? Warka.
Sometimes we use kertas. We use kertas.
Kertas. Yeah. Oh, we got kertas as well.
Kertas is very classic.
Oh. Okay. Let's do this section. Fill in the blank with a suitable word. So whatever that you think is suitable. If you look at the book, you can use any of the word at the top and try to fill in those. Obviously, you need to know the meaning before you can fill in the blank. But maybe we try. For the first one, but the Nodin, for the first one. So Ghaniyun, do you know what Ghaniyun means? Rich.
Rich.
Kaya. Rich. So try to put a word. Try to select one of the word up there. Yes. Then try to match it against the Ghaniyun.
Some words I cannot get. I didn't know the meaning.
Okay. We can go. We can go through
Apa
it.
tulis ini?
Hey, Tabib.
Gambar dia.
Oh, but
Yeah.
it's not in the but yeah. Can you Tabib atau Tabibu?
Arrojulu.
Ar-rajulu
Onion.
Ghaniyun. Yeah, can use that.
Onion.
So, what will be the translation in English?
Rich man.
No, not the rich man.
The man.
The man is rich.
Man is rich.
Yeah, the rich man we will learn lesson 8. or lesson 8 or lesson 9. It's different. So the man is rich.
Arrojulun is.
Not arrojulun.
Arrojulu.
Arrojulu. Yeah.
Arrojulu onion.
Arrojulu ghaniyun. Okay. Next one, brother Tajul. Number 2.
Pulwun.
Pulwun.
What's it? Pulwun.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Halwa.
Sweet. Sukar.
Halwa.
Sweet. S-W-E-E-T.
Mm.
Sweet.
Sweet. So select one. Al-Qamar ke?
Halwa. Gula-gula. Dia gula-gula. Sweet gula-gula.
Sweet. Manis.
Manis.
Not sweet as in candy. Sweet as in the taste.
Oh, al-labanu.
Al-labanu. Yeah.
Hulwun.
Yeah, al-labanu hulwun. So the milk is
Sweet.
sweet. Next one, brother Rosman. Maridun. What's the meaning of maridun?
Sick.
Sick. Yep. Sick.
التاجر
التاجر.
مريض.
Translation
The businessman is sick.
is sick. Next one. لذيذ. زوجة. لذيذ. ها؟ Sorry. بيبسي. بيبسي. لذيذ. Okay. Number 5. Back to Brother Nordin. طويل. Do you know what طويل means? Not sure.
Tall.
Tall. Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Tall.
Oh,
Tall. Just guessing. But this one has a different, couple of meanings. I think she said it can also be long, isn't it? It can also be long.
distance.
Yeah, can be long or can be tall. So they have two meanings.
Tawilon or tawilon?
طويل.
Tawilon.
طويل. Tall. It's tall. See the tall?
Oh, yeah.
طويل. Yeah, so try. Make a sentence. طويل.
Satu tulisan bagus sangat. An-najmu al-najmu tawilun.
Not really a suitable.
Bintang tinggi.
Bintang far away.
No, that one far away. This one
Yes,
is
yes,
tall.
far away.
Tall, tall.
Tinggi.
Tall is not far away.
Like
Tinggi, tinggi.
road is tawil.
Correct. Yeah.
Babu tawilun.
I guess can.
Tall door. Arijalu tawilun.
Rijalul طويل. Okay, next one, Brother Taju, number 6. Qasirun is the opposite of tawilun.
Short.
Short. Okay, so yeah, try.
Ya, can put at-tabibun.
Yep. Tabibun,
At-tabibun.
Tabibun. Tabibun,
At-tabibu.
Tabibu.
Qasirun. The doctor is short, but it's a bit of degrading.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, we're just practicing.
Body shaming.
Body shaming. But yeah, so but it's correct. I mean, structurally that
Yeah,
sentence is correct.
structurally okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, but just make sure. So this lesson we're still trying to get used to making a word that has alif lam, and it cannot have tanwin at the end. So that's basically this speech.
What's number 4? Lazizun.
Lazat,
Huh?
lazat, delicious.
Lazat, delicious. New word, yeah?
This one,
In this speech.
the vocab ni.
I think the first speech they have.
Lazat.
No, I think lazizun is not in there actually.
Laban.
There are some words.
There's some word not here.
Tufahu.
Yeah, tufahu lazizun. There are some
What's the word?
tufah.
Oh, apple. Oh, apple.
There are some words that they use in these pages, but not in here. There are some,
Yes.
but at least make sure that try to memorize this one because we need to build
Actually,
our vocab. Yeah?
kasir is
Much.
too much.
Much.
Kasir,
Kathir.
kathira, kathir, with the tha.
Yeah.
Yeah, kathir.
Kasir is too much.
Yeah, kathira,
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, a lot.
But he said short.
Qasirun.
Qasirun.
Like we said, if kasir.
Oh, like the way that he was saying it, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kasir
It's
means
qasir. I mean
Qasirun.
the makhraj.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Oh,
Sheikh Abdul Aziz.
Qasirun.
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 Yeah, it's all.
Qasirun.
Oh,
this is qasirun.
Kasirun.
As
Sukru.
sukaru,
Chakaru.
the sugar.
Oh,
The sugar is short.
Al-sukaru.
Kathirun.
Too much. Naziz means
I think
Delicious.
kathira is
Delicious.
a lot, but that one you don't use it that way. I think you will use jidan. I think like very delicious. Is that what you're trying to say? I think you will use jidan in that case. Yeah, you will not use kathira. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Jazakallahu kathira.
So for number 4, lazat
Lazizun.
What?
You can put the
Apple. Oh, any food.
tufa. You can put
Laham.
laham. Yeah, al-lahmu.
Lazat.
Lazizun.
Lazat.
Delicious.
Oh, lazizun.
Yeah.
Lazizun. Lazizun. Lazizun.
Okay. Actually,
Kita
we
salah berarti kita bilang lezat kan bukan za itu za. Nah gitu. Kita
well in Malay we don't even have that. Is that za? We don't have that. I don't know about boy.
Kan udah travel dari Arab sampai ke Nusantara apa jauh?
A lot of this.
New words.
Okay, this one. Match it. Let's try to do this quickly. So just try to match al-talibu
Tolibu
with something.
maridun.
Al-talibu maridun. Okay. The translation.
The student is sick.
The student is sick. Next one. For the Arif. Ad-dukanu.
Adukan, okay.
Mhm.
Adukanu bayin.
Ad-dukanu ba'idun. Well, it can. It's actually supposed to match with that side.
Okay.
Yeah, so just select one of them. It's correct, but yeah, select. Yeah.
Maftun.
Yes, yes. So the translation would be
The shop is.
the shop is
The shop is closed.
Maftun.
Open.
Open. The shop is open. Brother Nordin?
the shop is
The shop, dukanu, yeah.
Dukan.
Shop. Dukan is shop, yeah. Next one, tufahu, apple.
Fahu.
Mm-hmm.
Lagi
Translation?
delicious apple.
Ah, no,
Apple
no.
is delicious.
Missing something.
The apple.
The apple. The apple
is delicious.
is delicious. Yes, yes. Good.
Bisa baca. Boleh Pak.
Next one, Brother Tajuk.
Al-ma'u.
Al-ma'u, the water.
The water is hot. Harun.
Harun. That's right. Next one.
Hajaru
Al-hajaru,
takilun.
takilun. Translation?
The rock is heavy.
The rock is heavy. Last one.
Kalamu.
Al-qalamu,
Harun. Panas.
maksurun.
Yang last kali.
The pen is broken.
Harun. Harun.
Harun. Yes.
Al-qalamu maksuru.
Maksurun.
Maksurun.
What is the translation?
The pen is broken.
The pen is broken. Ahsan. Okay, so that's basically conclude our lesson 3, isn't it?
Masya
Lesson 3, I think.
So many new words.
So yes, as I mentioned last session, the vocab on page 27 have to start memorizing, and the one from the last one as well. So one of the way to help you memorize is to download the Memorize app. Not sure whether you have tried to download Memorize app, everyone, but even if you don't download that app, just make sure try to memorize. I think Brother Arif and Brother Rosman, you guys seem to be okay because we have,
We gone through.
yeah. But probably Brother Tajul and Brother Nordin try to start memorizing it slowly, little bit by little bit. Yeah. And then hopefully that will help because when we do more practice, we need to know the vocab. If you don't know the vocab, it's a bit hard for us to practice as well, isn't it? So want to make sentence, we can't make sentence because we don't know the words. So at least try to memorize some. If not all, at least.
Dictionary.
Sendiri apa?
Arabnya dictionary.
Kang Mak. No, Daddy, I got memorize, but
Memorize. I can help you after the maybe Isha or after this. I can help make sure that you guys download memorize and then we can you guys can practice a little bit because it's not too hard. Like sometimes when I'm waiting for maybe food or waiting for my wife to get the food ready, whatever, then just do 5 minutes, do some practice. Khalas. At least some practice every day. Yeah, it will help inshallah. Okay. All right. So now we are going to move to lesson 4, and lesson
Second,
4.
second.
Yeah.
Fakir
Question?
is miskin.
Miskin, yes.
Poor.
Poor. Okay. So what I want to do is to start with lesson 4 in the book. So lesson 4, in this particular lesson, we are starting to learn a little bit about fragment. So before I go into the actual lesson in the book, I just wanted to show you guys this slide. I'm not sure. I think some of you might not be there during our first lesson or our first review session. I mentioned that the words has 3 types: the ism, fi'l, and harf. You guys know that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then basically fragments. I'm just going to skip and go to the next slide. So actually not that one, this one.
I think I missed this.
Yeah, when we did the review before the exam last time, you were not there. So maybe this is a good kind of session for you to kind of understand a little bit more about fragment. So to clarify, Sheikh Yusuf doesn't really use the word fragment. It's just the word that I use because I learned from some other reference as well. But I thought it helped me trying to understand whether the sentence is built based on a couple of fragments or just like mutada khabar. So when we see a fragment, it helps us to understand, okay, this one is actually talking about, let's say, for example, mudaf ilayh, which means like Khalid's car of Khalid. That's actually a fragment. So what I'm trying to explain here is that, if I can make this slightly bigger, what is this? So a fragment is something that is more than one word, but it's not a complete sentence. What do I mean by that? As an example, if I say the beautiful car, is that a fragment or is that a sentence? The beautiful car is not a complete sentence, isn't it?
No, the beautiful.
No, it's not a complete sentence yet.
Not the car is beautiful.
No. So the car. So let's take a step back, and that's actually kind of good example as well. If we say the car is beautiful, that's actually a complete sentence. The car is, what's the car in this case? What's the i'rab? What's the i'rab of the car? Mubtada. The car is mubtada. Beautiful is khabar. What we learned in lesson 3. So the car is beautiful, mubtada, khabar. Okay? But then if we say the beautiful car, that's not a complete sentence. You are not saying anything about the beautiful car. The beautiful car is what? The beautiful car is in front of the masjid. The beautiful car belongs to Brother Osman. As an example. Okay? So if we say Brother Osman is handsome. Now I can use because now you are here.
You can use again and again.
So Brother Osman is handsome is a complete sentence. Yes or no? It is, right? Because it's complete. Brother Osman is handsome. If I say the handsome Brother Osman, is it a complete sentence? It's not. Right? Because you are still not saying anything. Okay, the handsome Brother Osman, what about him? It's still not a complete sentence because it's still not providing any news about. News is khabar. Khabar is basically news or information. Khabar. That's actually in the last lesson. Maybe later try to listen back to the previous video because that one we talk about the mubtada and khabar. And also the slide for that session is in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So the other thing that we need to realize in Arabic, there is actually no word for is or are. Like the example that I provide just now, the beautiful car is in front of the masjid. The is actually not. There's no word in Arabic to replace the is. So the way that we can determine whether is required or not in a sentence is to identify whether it is a fragment and being not being connected to the other word. Let me try to explain that by example because it might be confusing. So let's say, for example, if I say the car is in front of the mosque, so in this case, the car is actually a sayyaratu in front of the mosque. Want to try? Amama al masjidi. So in front of the mosque, in this case, is actually a fragment. So for now, just try to recognize that the word the car and in front of the mosque, which is a fragment, is being split by is because it's not really connected. In Arabic, when you translate this into Arabic, later we will do more practice. But for now, just try to put the concept. When the words are not connected to each other using a fragment. So for Brother Rosman and Brother Arif, you guys will know this a little bit more and can appreciate this a little bit more. For example, when I say a fragment that we have learned or we will learn in book 1 will be something like Na'at Manut. As an example, Na'at Manut is one. Mudaf Mudaf ilayh, Harfu Jar, Ismul Ishara, Mushar ilayh. These are all fragment. So example of Mudaf Mudaf ilayh, if you talk something about my book, something that you possess, my book, or his book, that's actually a fragment. we call it mudhaf mudhaf ilaih in Arabic. So that's actually a fragment. So his book, what? What about his book? His book is on the table, as an example. So you can see his book is on the table because his book is a fragment. On the table is another fragment.
Nak melengkapkan.
Yeah, to complete the sentence. Otherwise, his book is not complete. On the table is not complete. You join it together, two fragments join together. His book is on the table. Then you make a sentence. Make sense?
So fragment and khabar.
So fragment, khabar can be a fragment, or khabar can just be a word. Like for example, Ali is a doctor. Doctor is just a word, wabi pun. But it can be a khabar as well. But the fragment, like in front of the mosque, is long. It's not one word, isn't it? In front of the mosque. That's actually a fragment, and that fragment can also be khabar. Okay? So that's basically what I'm just trying to introduce the concept of fragment. As we learn more, then I'm hoping that we can understand a little bit more. When I say fragment, what fragment is this? We can recognize, and then we know to apply the rule, because each fragment has different kind of rule as well. Like just now, Brother Rosman was saying, Amam al Masjidi. Later on you will understand why is it Masjidi, why is it Masjidu, why is it Masjidah. So there's a reason why is it Masjidi. Okay? So the reason why I'm also introducing the concept of fragment, because in lesson 4 in this book, we are starting to learn one of the fragment, which is called harfu jar or huruful jar. So huruf is the plural of harf. So huruful jar means, let's go to this one.
Harfu jar.
Yeah, or the plural is huruful jar. So the huruf or the words of jar.
Huruf al jar.
Huruful jar, yeah.
Huruful jar or huruf al jar.
Well, when you pronounce it, when you read it, it's called huruful jar.
Huruful jar.
It's two separate words, huruf al jar, but you don't say huruf al jar. When you read, let's say even in Quran, you will actually put the alif silent. In this case, it's alif maksurah. No, not the maksurah. Alif
Hamzah wasal.
hamzah wasal. Yeah, sorry, hamzah wasal. So the r can be silent if there's a word for it. I don't know really. Oh, not yet. Okay, so huruful jar. So huruful jar, we are going to use huruful jar effectively to talk about a location in a way. Actually, that's not good, because if I put that example, you guys might get confused with Zafrul Makan later on. Let me take a step back. So harful jar are basically words. So when we introduced the concept of harf in the first lesson, we said that harf is basically a word that cannot stand on its own. It needs to be connected to another word. That's what we said last time, right? So an example of huruf fuljar in book 1, we will learn all of those, but for now, just focus on the top 4. We need to memorize this top 4. So if I want to say 2, you guys need to know that's ila. If I want to say on, like say on the table, you need to know, oh, on is ala. If I want to say in the masjid, you need to know, oh, fi. Fi is in. And then if I want to say min, let's say from the school, you need to know from is min. So all these 4 have to memorize. No other way. Have to memorize. Okay?
Like what is called in English? Preposition.
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 Preposition. Yes, preposition. That's right.
Bahasa Inggris ya.
Preposition. Okay? Now that we have learned what are the huruful jar, we need to understand the rule of this huruful jar. When you see a word that is huruful jar, the word after it first must be ism, because you can't say like it must be ism. It cannot be like a fan. It must be ism. So let's say for example, to the school, to the masjid, on the table, on the chair, on the bed. All of those are ism, isn't it? We're not saying on walking. It's kind of different thing. Mean bite. But if you pronounce it, it's actually going to be mean. But anyway, we'll talk about the rule a little bit more. So that's the first thing, yeah? So it will be followed by an ism. So that's the first. No, ism noun. bed, man,
Kata benda.
kata benda. Kata benda, I think in Malay, yeah.
Benda apa itu?
Macam-macam.
And then the other thing is that for the
One, two, three, four, or five? What is it? Four.
this one later. This one later. You can ignore this one for now because this one is much later on in the lesson. In I think book 1, but maybe lesson 7. I can't remember. But further down the road. For now, just make sure you try to memorize these first 4. Okay, min, fi, ala, ila, and it's in the book as well. If you go to page 34, 34 in the book, so you can see at the top there, min, ila, fi, ala, exactly the same as what we have there. So that's the one on page 34. So I have to memorize.
So fast. 34 already. 35.
Okay. Now, the other thing that I haven't mentioned about the rule is, all this while, when we say status, we always say marfu'. But there was another status that we learned in lesson 1, which is called majrur. I'm not sure whether you guys remember. What is majrur?
Dhamma.
No. Marfu' is dhamma. What is majrur? So remember? Kasra.
Kasrah.
Kasra is majrur. Okay?
Mansub fathah.
Mansub fathah. Majrur is kasra. You know kasra is the one under the, yeah. Okay? So that's the rule. Why? Don't ask me. Just because Arab says so. Don't ask me why. So when you see any kind of word like this, min, fi, ala, ila, the word after it, the ism, must be, what did I say? It must be
Majrur.
majrur. Must be majrur.
Kasrah.
Kasra. Okay? Okay so far. Who wants to repeat what we just said? Try to repeat. So, harf,
Four words.
the 4 words, yes. Try brother Taju.
After these 4 words, all the nouns
Nouns
must be in kasrah.
must be in majrur. The reason why we say majrur, because later on we will learn that there are more majrur. It's not necessarily kasrah. That's why we need to remember it's just majrur. Just remember majrur. Majrur, right? Majrur. Okay, now enough about theory. Let's go into exercise, because I think if we do exercise,
Kemarin ya.
yep. Tamrin, forget about this one for now. Let's go into the actual book. Let's see, what page are we? Page 28. Okay, let's start with page 28 first. Trying to navigate to here. Go back to this page. Okay, this page. We can ignore this one for now at the top. Alright, see here. Al baitu fil baiti. Why is this baiti? From what we have learned so far, why is that baiti? Why is it not fil baitu? Majrur. Harfu jar. Because there's a huruf jar before it. Fi. The fi here?
Huruf jar.
Yep. It's one of the huruf jar. Right? Fi. So because there's a fi before it, it must be majrur. Ti. You cannot say fil baitu, that's wrong. Okay? You cannot say fil baita, that's wrong as well. You cannot say fil baitun because alif lam. And obviously you cannot say marfu anyway because it's fi. So fi must be majrur after that. Make sense so far?
Yes.
The next one. Al masjidu fil masjidi.
Masjid.
Again, why is that masjidi instead of masjidu? Because of fi. Next one. Al maktabu ala al maktabi. First try to translate that. What is that?
On top of the table.
On top of the table. Or on the table.
On the table. This one.
Ala al maktabi.
No,
Ala al maktabi. So ala is on. Maktabi is desk, right? Table, desk. So maktabi. Next one. Ala sariri. Translation. on the bed. And why is it not ala sariru? Because ala, harfu jar.
So ala fi all is four of them become
Four of them.
become kasrah.
After that, kasrah. After that word, kasrah. It's a rule. You just have to remember. Yeah. Okay? It's not too difficult, hopefully. Let's try more. Oh, it suddenly introduced a question. Okay. Introduce more actually.
There's answers. I mean,
Answer relax. That wa fil
Yeah.
huruf fa.
By
added vocab.
yeah, by it adds vocab and it adds yeah, okay. So it looks like it's adding more things here. So let me just see. I'm gonna skip this one for now because of the time. I want us to practice more instead of adding more things. I want us to practice on the huruful jar. Let's skip this one. Go to page number 30. Page 30. Page 30. Because that one is introducing the pronouns who are here. I want to do that for now until we practice more on huruful jar. Okay? Alright. Now, let's do this one. At-talibu fil jami'ati. There's actually a new vocab there. Probably you're not sure what's the vocab, but who wants to try? Maybe try with Brother Nordin. You want to try to translate that?
Al-talibu fil jami'ati.
Mm.
Al-talib, the student
Mm.
mean at in the jami' in the mosque.
University.
Jami' in the
Yeah.
university.
So again, try the full translation again.
The student in
The student
the
is.
student is
So remember that we said just now, the fil jami'ati. Itu Azan. Yeah. You pause with Nuntu Azan. It's fine.
the student
Okay. Bismillah. Continuing. So at-talibu fil jami'ati. What did we say just now? The full translation again.
a student in the university.
The
student in the university.
So this is why I wanted to introduce the fragment just now. In here, when you want to translate it, fil jami'ati is actually harfu jar, isn't it? It's a fragment, right?
Yeah.
At-talibu is not connected to fil jami'ati. So when you translate it, it will be the student is in the university. So there's actually is. You don't say the student in the university. The student is in the university. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to do the fragment, because when it's not connected, we actually need to add is to connect the two fragment or the words and word. Okay. Next one, try Brother Tajud, number 2.
Number 2.
Mhm.
Ar-rajulu fil masjidi.
Mm.
The man is in the masjid.
The man
The man
is yep
is in the masjid.
is in the masjid. So fil masjidi. Why is it fil
Fil
masjidi again? Why is it not fil masjidu?
Majrur.
Yeah, majrur. Must be majrur because before it is harfu jar.
Harful jar.
Okay. Yep.
Huruf jar.
One of the huruful jar. So huruful jar is plural, but one is harfu jar. But plural is huruf. Yeah, huruf. So I'm not sure whether you can, but what are the 4 huruful jar that we have learned? Can you remember?
Min
Min,
ala fi
ala, fi. One more. Two.
tu.
Ila.
Sampai itu.
That's good. Good. That's good. So the 4, min, fi, an. No, not an. Sorry. Min, fi,
Ala.
min, fi, ala, ila. Just need to get used to it. Once we get more practice, inshallah, it will just come. Just need to practice a little bit more. So I'm going to skip number 3 because there's a question that we haven't really learned and we don't have too much time. So just want to practice more. Number 4, Brother Rosman.
Al-qalamu al-maktab.
Mm-hmm.
The pen is on the desk.
The
Or
desk.
on the table.
On the table, yeah. Mm-hmm.
أين زين
Just skip that one. Go to number 9.
الشمس والقمر sun and the moon
Mm.
on the sky.
The sun and the moon are in the sky.
In,
In the sky, yeah. Makes
it
sense?
should be actually on the sky.
I think in English it will say in the sky as well, right? The sun is in the sky. Yeah, I think it's in as well in English. I think. Yeah, but I've seen in they say I think the cow is is in the road. I think in one of the lesson in Arabic it say fi.
The cow is in the room.
The cow is in the road. If we translate it, it will become is in the road. But we don't say it's in the road in English. We say it's on the
I think
road.
just now I saw on the
What's that?
screen. Yeah,
About the
I can't
cow.
remember just now. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, yeah. We will go into that one. That exercise. Is it here? No, it's not here. But anyway, all right. So, are we comfortable so far with huruf jar?
yeah.
Hopefully, it's not too difficult. It's only kind of two rule. The word after it is ism, and then must be majrur. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Because I tried to memorize what is isim, what is fi'il.
And what is harf?
It's a bit quite,
Mm.
because all these like his vocab is easy.
Mm.
When it comes to pronouns, nouns, adverb, pronouns, past tense, all that.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, every word there
Yes.
is because we speak like English, we don't know what is
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, we don't really learn the grammar.
the grammar.
The grammar, yeah.
But now we learn the grammar.
Mm.
It's a bit more difficult.
Inshallah. That's why we start with the basic. So that's why I introduced the type of words, because the type of words is also important for us to kind of build upon our knowledge. If we don't even know the basic type of words, it's going to be difficult later on, because we don't even know this is fi'l or this is harf or this is ism. Because depending on the type of words, the rules might be different. Okay. For example, fi'l, you cannot have tanween. You cannot have tanween at all. So if you put tanween on a fi'l, that's already wrong. As an example. So that's why we need to kind of understand the type of words, but slowly get used to it. I'm gonna skip the rest because it's just asking questions. Are there more examples that we can do? Actually, there's not that much example without having to explain more about pronouns. Yeah, I think no choice. We have to start with the pronouns a little bit, but it's only 7:34 actually. It's only 11 more minutes to go. What do you guys want to do?
There
Wanna-
is more practice.
More practice on the Hafujah, like try
we
to.
Can have, we create our own Hafujah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sentence.
So like try to translate from English to Arabic.
Dia ada tamarin in
Are there exercises that we can? Okay, actually we can do this exercise. I think. And it's not too page 29. Maybe we can try to do that. Try to answer the.
oh okay, yeah.
I think that will be good exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, so page 29. Try to navigate back to the page. Page 29. This one. Okay. I think we can do some of this. Alright. So the only thing that we need to know before we can start this exercise is aina means where. That's the only thing that we need to know for this exercise. So I think it's quite okay. So when we say aina al-kitabu, what will be the translation?
Where is the book?
Where is the book? Like aina Muhammadun will be?
Where is the person Muhammad?
Just say where is Muhammad.
Where is Muhammad?
Yeah, where is Muhammad? Okay, so let's try to construct a sentence in Arabic by answering that question. So if let's say aina al-kitabu, let's say if you want to say the book is on the table. How would you say al-kitabu?
Halal.
Alal
Halal maktabu.
maktabu
Maktabi.
maktabi. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay, boleh Osman. Ini patutnya senang ini.
Halal maktabi.
Alal maktabi. Why is it maktabi, Brother Nordin? Instead of maktabu?
Because Allah, because
The word before it is ala. Ala is one of the
four of them.
one of the four of
One of the four
Huruf.
huruf hujar.
huruf hujar.
Huruf hujar. Okay. Next one, Brother Tajuk. Who answered it just now? Brother Tajuk was the one who answered it, isn't it? Let's try the other one. So, Aina Muhammadun. Let's try Brother Nordin. Let's say, you want to say, up to you. What do you want to?
Aina Muhammadun.
Yep.
There is Muhammad.
Where is Muhammad? So you can say like Muhammad is in the masjid as an example, or Muhammad is on the table. You can say that as well if you want.
Muhammad fi
Yeah. Muhammadun
Muhammadun fi masjidi.
fil.
Fil masjidi.
So you can't say like Muhammad is in a masjid. Well, I guess you can say that as well. But for now, we try to practice to say Muhammad is in the masjid. So Muhammadun fil
Fil
masjid
masjidi.
masjidi
Masjidi.
masjidi. And why is it masjidi?
Because fil.
Fil. Because fi. Yeah. Brother Rosman, want to try the next one? Aina as-sa'atu?
As-satu ala sariri.
As-sa'atu ala sariri. Okay. What's the translation?
Ada gambar jam ni.
Yeah,
Where's
sound,
the
yeah.
watch?
Watch. Where's the watch?
Watch.
And what did Brother Rosman answer? Who wanted to translate what Brother Rosman answered just now?
It's on the bed.
The bed, the watch is on the bed. Aina Yasir. So Yasir is just a name. Who's next? Brother Syam.
Yasu. Fil ghurfati.
Fil ghurfati. Room.
Room.
Ghurfatun is room. So ghurfati because of al-fujar. Because of fi. Okay. Next one. Aina Aminatu. Salam. Ikhwan. Who's number 5? Brother Nordin again. Aina Aminatu. Aminatu. Just name. Amina.
Your future.
Yes,
Sorry.
Your future. Sorry. Aminatu. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Amina? The translation. Do try to answer in Arabic.
Aminatu fi baiti.
Fil
Fil baiti.
alif lam. So fil baiti.
Fil baiti.
Salam.
Yeah.
Next one, number 6. Not sure whether. Okay.
Aminatu
Yep.
fil ghurfati.
Yep. Translation first before you answer.
Is Amina in the kitchen?
No.
In the room.
Room. Yeah.
Naam.
Naam.
Aminatu fil ghurfati.
Yep.
No change.
No change. Easy to say naam. Say lah. Easy to say naam. Next one, Brother Rosman.
No want to change.
Don't want to change. 7.
Ayasirun fil matbakh.
Matbakh. Just pronounce the last harakah, Brother Rosman.
Matbakhi.
Yeah, because we are learning. Yeah.
Fil matbakhi.
Yep.
La.
La.
Huwa ala sariri.
Wa ala sariri. Okay. Brother Amir.
Man fil ghurfati. Who is in the ghurfa?
Ana fil ghurfati.
What was that? Sorry. Rosmanu. I'm not sure. I think Rosmanu. I think because it's not an Arabic name. I think Rosmanu. Yeah.
Rosma.
Rosma. Rosma is different.
Al-Sariri.
Rosma.
Rosma.
Was it?
Al-Sariri. Al-Sariri.
What?
Ah.
So it is asking who is in the room. So you should answer like Ali. Rosman is in the room, for example. Yeah. Okay.
And he's on the bed.
And he's on the way.
Everything.
No, you have to learn the details.
All right. Next one, Brother Nordin. 3 more before this.
Maktabi.
Where are we? Sorry, number 9. Woman fil hammami.
Waman fil hamami. I don't know. And from and what?
And who? Man is who?
And
Is in
fil
fil hammam. Hammam is toilet.
Oh, hammam.
Mm.
Not Baitul Halak.
So who is in the toilet?
في
كده كده.
who is in the toilet? Who in the toilet?
Yes, yes.
الطالب في في
في toilet.
في
At- sorry, again, sorry.
الطالب
At-talibu.
الطالب
There's a mat there, yeah.
الطالب في
بال
في الحمام
Hammami.
حمام
Hammami. Yeah.
في الحمام
Okay,
الطالب
but the-
في الحمام.
Next one, Brother Taju.
ماذا على المقتل ماذا
So maza is actually what as well.
what is on the table
Yeah, but the difference between maza and ma. So maza, you don't really have to be there. So let's say you're on the phone, you're asking your wife, what is on the table? Like you're not there, so you can use maza. So that's kind of slightly different. But anyway, still what is on the table?
what is on the table الساعة
As-sa'atu
على المقتل
ala al-maktabi.
على المقتل
Then Brother Rosman, last one.
ماذا على السر؟ I got all these all.
You always get the bad one.
عارف
ماذا على السرير؟ ماذا على السرير؟ الكتاب على السرير.
Al-kitabu ala sariri. Why we can't say al-kitabun?
Is
Ah? Why it's not al-kitabun? No. Yeah, alif lam.
أنا
Alif lam. It's not because of mutada. It's not because of mutada we cannot say al-kitabun. It's because of alif lam that we don't say al-kitabun.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Little bit
ماذا is what
what? Yeah, but what in the sense of like it's more broad, like you don't have to be there. Like usually when you are in conversation you will say like ala something, right? So but you can use madha as well. Mahadha as well, yeah. But to follow same. Salam. Right, I think that's a good place to stop, I think. 7:43.
You can wake up and walk around for 3
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. dah.